All right. We've got our co-host here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Leo Mullinex.
That's right. And how are you related to me?
I'm your son, of course.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He doesn't know anything. Well, he either doesn't know anything or he's just kidding.
Uh, no one's really sure, to be honest. God, that was scary accurate. So, we're here to show a video and share other people's stories about something. Leo, what are we going to talk about?
Johanna and Ryan Mullinex's wedding.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
7 years? 10 years?
10 years, that's right.
It's their 10th anniversary.
And how old are you?
7. That's why I said 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's why you said 7. That makes sense.
was-
So, you weren't actually at the wedding, were you?
No.
No, you weren't. That's unfortunate. But why don't you tell us some stories you heard about the wedding? Like, what have you heard about it?
Okay. So, he told me that it was flooded. There was a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And they still got married and they're still alive.
That's true. We are still alive and we are still married. Mommy hasn't killed Daddy yet, so that's a really good sign, right?
She can't kill you. She doesn't even have a real sword.
Oh, son, you'll learn. What else happened? Daddy fought a volcano. You remember that?
You're joking.
Okay, yeah, that didn't happen. Daddy didn't really fight a volcano.
Yeah, volcanoes aren't alive.
But there's a lot of really cool stories from the wedding. Some really good ones. And we're going to share some of those with all of you.
It was also still romantic.
It was romantic. The electricity went out, so we had to do it all by candles.
Yeah, which is really more romantic than just electric lights.
Exactly. I prefer analog lighting over digital, for sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and let some of the people talk about it. We'll join at the end. Thank you. Bye. You gotta say bye.
Bye.
What's up, Mullinex crew? Day 30 of the quarantine, I think. So about the wedding. My first and only trip to Tennessee. It was, all in all, it was a good trip. Certainly a weird one. I remember the dreadlocks were kind of a concern of mine, and ends up that the power going out at the church and there not being any lights was kind of a saving grace, I guess, a little bit.
Hello, you little lovebird douchebags. Okay, so my favorite story from your wedding was going to Joe's bachelorette party and seeing her grandmother and realizing that my gift was the only skanky gift that anyone was about to open. So we went around the table, and of course mine was last. And I was just like, you know what, don't open that now because I didn't know your grandmother was going to be here and there's a lot of skank in that bag. I also enjoyed the flood and tornadoes. The wedding was okay. Candlelight, I mean, who really likes that?
Happy anniversary, Ryan and Joe. I hope you guys are well and safe at home, and congratulations on 10 years together. That wedding was the craziest thing I've ever seen. The storm of the century in Nashville, rain and lightning and the power out in the church and flooding and all of your friends coming back to your house after the wedding instead of you all going on your honeymoon. You all were troopers and a testament to the strong people that you are, I think. Thanks for sharing that with me, and I'll never forget that wedding. Bye.
Most vivid memory was, I think, was for a lot of people was when we decided to postpone the ceremony because everyone was having a hard time getting to the church because of all the flooding. And we were standing near the front door, kind of escorting people in from their cars with umbrellas in our in our three-piece tuxes, trying not to sweat. And then that bolt of lightning, I think it was around the corner of the church, just the brightest, loudest thing I've ever seen or heard. And then, of course, the power went out, and that's when we went into, I don't know, emergency mode, and ran into the basement, into some kind of utility room, and we found like 4 red candles. And thank God I was there with my lighter, because I don't think anyone had one. So yeah, we managed to get those candles. I think that was the only light other than the exit signs in the back of the church. And then, of course, trying to leave was quite a to-do. I remember all the phone calls and this road's open, but it won't be much longer, and etc.
Okay, I think this is recording. Oh hey there. How's it going? You caught me just admiring this beautiful day we're having outside. It's absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. Oh, that beautiful Seattle sunshine. Oh, anyway, this weather reminds me of a time back in Tennessee. I was part of some musical group called the what was it? The whole New Usuals. That's the one. And we one day there was this crazy tornado storm thingamajig, and I think we were playing a wedding. We were top brass at that time. And, I think they must have paid us handsomely for it, or something like that. And we're at this wedding, and I think it was, I can't remember their names. I'm sorry, I'm trying, but I can't remember their names. So we're at this wedding, and this tornado thing starts happening, and it was absolutely crazy. And all of the lights went off, and everybody was kind of freaked out, and they were like, "Oh shit, are we gonna die?" Oh man, but we didn't. And when the lights went off, the groom, he said that it didn't matter, to light some candles, because this was gonna happen, no matter what. And I gotta give him credit, I would have escaped if I could have, but, we were in the basement and everybody would have seen me. Either way, it was a good time. It was different. It was different than anything that I had experienced heretofore. And I remember that Nashville flooded, and it was insane. It took me 3 hours to get back home. But I think the thing that I remember the most about that day was... it was the candles.
Hi, Ryan and Joe.
Hey, Ryan and Joe. This is Gary and
Yvonne.
sorry it took us so long. To tell you the truth, I forgot about doing this thing, but give you some reflections about your wedding 10 years ago. First of all, it was an amazing day. Things that you can't even script a day like that. I mean, you couldn't even think about writing a day like that. Yvonne, what were some insights about that day that you remember?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I think it was impressive that you got married in spite of all kinds of obstacles. I mean, there was the tornado warning where the whole party and the guests all had to go down the basement. There was the flood, we couldn't get home, and then there was no electric for the reception. But in spite of all that, y'all got married, and that was what was important for the day.
I remember a couple things. One, it was a beautiful candlelight wedding. Wait a minute, it wasn't supposed to be candlelight. There was no electricity. But I remember you still got married without electricity. Then we went over to the gym, and you had a great acoustic set for some music. Wait a minute.
What do I remember about Ryan and Joe's wedding? Well, the bachelor party. It's a little foggy there. Don't remember much. The next morning, remember too much of that. Not a great morning. But the wedding, I remember being really beautiful despite the weather. I remember giving a hilarious speech that no one could hear because the microphone didn't work because we didn't have power. And I I just remember thinking that I was happy for both of you, and I was absolutely shocked that Ryan had convinced such a beautiful woman to marry him. But nonetheless, just happy that you settled down, and just want to congratulate you two on your anniversary.
Well, I remember driving in a lot of rain and having to stop several times because you couldn't see the road because the water was too high. And I remember hanging out in the basement a lot. I was actually late, so I kind of just came in and went straight to the basement. And on the way home, it took me 3 hours to get home from Murfreesboro Road, I think. Those are my memories. That and a happy couple.
Hey guys, this is Ron. I was just gonna tell you about my experience at your wedding many moons ago. Obviously, I remember the flood. That's a no-brainer. Remember lots of prep work and getting to meet lots of friends that Ryan had told me about for years and years, and so it was really cool to put all these faces with names I'd heard about. And at the end of the day, we didn't get to play, but I really thought your service was cool, and the whole candlelight thing. I think it kind of came together regardless, and how can you beat that? So congratulations, guys. Hope you have many, 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 many more.
Anyway, as you can see, we're out golfing today and enjoying some adult beverages. And I hope you have a happy anniversary, and we love you, and don't do anything stupid. Quit cursing the world with your wedding bullshit, tornadoes. Try not to play too many video games, and enjoy your social distancing year number 10, right? Yeah. Bye.
All right, so one of my favorite memories of the whole wedding, right, is stuff starting to go down. Like there's, lightning hitting trees outside. The weather is obviously becoming quite an issue. We're all becoming aware of this as we're like 5 minutes away from being like married, like walking down that aisle and stuff. So I'm kind of concerned, but I'm not allowed to see Joe before the ceremony because that's the bad luck thing. I don't know how that works, but whatever. So I send someone over to say, hey, I need you to check on Joe, make sure she's okay, and we don't need anything from her, whatever, About 2 minutes later, whoever it was comes back, and she gives him the message, we are getting married today. And that was it. And that, she's been in charge since. Damn.